Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, just a second. Trying to adjust this picture here. Hold on. Oh, well, I guess it's not going to do anything. But in any case, first and foremost, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakal Qudash. And of course, double honors once again to the apostles of Great Millstone. All right, for teaching me this truth. All right, and for being the real and only leaders of the nation of Israel. All right. Wow, came across this. This is from the so-called Christian Post. All right. And this is a Jake pastor. There's him and his wife. All right. Let me get my ugly mug out of the way. So it says, this is proof. All right. First and foremost, we need to get the hell up out of here. Because if you're depending, even though by all appearances, you can do everything right, all right, you're still wrong in the eyes of Esau, so-called Esau, Edom, nation of Edom, all right, the so-called white man. Now, of course, we know that he's preaching Jesus, you know, another God. First and foremost, that's where he went off. But aside from that, like I said, he did everything like he was supposed to. All right, here we go. It says, so-called black pastor arrested after calling 911 on white trespassers threatening to kill him. All right, keep that in mind. All right, like I said, he is just down the road from me here. He's in Woodstock, Virginia. It says a Virginia pastor who said he was forced to brandish his gun to scare off 5 Edomite individuals who allegedly verbally and physically attacked him when he tried to prevent them from dumping on his property. All right, but he was arrested after calling 911. Shenandoah County Sheriff Timothy Carter has apologized. Here we go. All right, to the pastor, and Leon McCrae is his name, of the Lighthouse Church and Marketplace Ministries International. All right. The sheriff announced that 5 people involved in the attack were arrested and that 2 department supervisors have been placed on unpaid administrative leave until a review is completed. Very traumatic experience. I don't know if you have ever been through anything like that. I never have. Very trying. That's what the pastor said. And he explained that on June 1st, he saw 2 people trying to dump a refrigerator on his property. All right, and he said one person verbally attacked him, well, after he told him to stop, and the other one went to retrieve 3 other people. I informed these individuals that they were trespassing and that they couldn't dump the refrigerator on my property, and I asked them to leave. They became irate and verbally attacked me. Shortly after, he said 3 men and 2 women attacked him. At the same time, these same individuals were threatening my life, telling me that my Black Life and Black Lives Matter stuff did not sit well in town. Being threatened, so they already had a chip on the shoulder. Being threatened and being in fear of my life, I took and felt compelled to pull my concealed weapon, legal concealed weapon, to save my life. And when I did that, finally, these individuals backed up long enough for me to call 911. Now, how often have you heard the case where Jake was, for all intents and purposes, murdered, and they bring up this, well, I had to do it to save my life. Okay, that's all right. Well, good job. Well done. Oh, no. It didn't even get nowhere near that far. I mean, he just did it for him to back the fuck off. Excuse my language. All right. And then, while they backed off, he called 911. So McCrae, the pastor, said that when he called 911, instead of asking how he was doing, the person on the phone only wanted to know about the person with the gun. Maybe this dispatcher knew that, was listening to the voice because, hey, they do this, they profile you for everything. Your name, all aspects. All right, he said he explained that he needed help. About 10 police officers arrived on the scene. However, McCrae said the officers took his gun and immediately went over to the mob that had trespassed on his property. They went and talked to them. They were still hollering racial epithets, all right? They were still threatening my life. They were still telling me what they were going to do to me. What did the sheriff do? I was really never given the opportunity to tell what was going on. After the police spoke with the trespassers, get this. McCrae said that they returned and told him they had to arrest him for brandishing a firearm. Now let's go back to the beginning. Here you got two individuals initially that are trying to dump waste onto this man's property. This man tells them that they can't do that. This is private property. Please don't do this. They get offended that Jake. See, this goes to another thing with, you got to understand, we, in the eyes of very, very many, are still considered property. All right. And as such, we're not supposed to own anything. You get these offhanded comments sometimes. You might have an Edomite say, oh, that's such a nice car. Well, what he's really saying is, or she, is that, damn, these are our niggers. Why is he doing better than me? After all, they used to say, if you're not doing better than a nigger, what good are you? All right? That's on the real. So I asked again, and I have to put this in the scripture where it says, and let me get it real quick. Why, while this loads, this is going to be Hebrews. Actually, I'm going backwards. 11, it says, 14, it says, for they say such things, declare plainly that they seek a country, and we do. All right, this is meant for our punishment. You know, America. Amara from the Hebrew means better. America, all right, and it has been better for us. This was not meant to be our rest, all right. And when you go to in the curses, well, since I'm going to quote it, let's go to Deuteronomy 28. What does it say? We go all the way down to 65. What does it say? And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Most High Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. All right? And that's why when we skip on down here, go back to Hebrews 11. Let's see. Verse 15, and truly if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned, but it was too late. All right? But now they desire a better country, that is, in heavenly, wherefore the Most High is not ashamed to be called their power, for he hath prepared for them a city. Because we've been getting our behinds handed to us ever since the reign of Solomon. All right? It says, well, that's it on that. Let's go two over. Let's go to Hebrews 13 and 14. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. All right. And now you're been given over to a people. All right. That because we didn't adhere to the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, now we're given into the hands of people like this. This is Job chapter 8. Let's start at 3 and ask the question. All right. Doth the Most High pervert judgment, or doth the Almighty pervert justice? And of course the answer is no. If thy children have sinned against him, and he have cast them away for their transgression, which he did, if thou wouldest seek unto the Most High betimes, and make thy supplication to the Almighty, Remember, it says pray always. All right. If thou wert pure and upright, surely now he would awake for thee and make the habitation of thy righteousness prosperous. Remember Judith 5th chapter. What is it? All right. An Ammonite is telling, well, let's go to that. All right. If these people, and he goes into the story, all right, that these people came from the land of the Chaldeans. And hold on, Judith 5th chapter. If they're right with their power, let's see where I want to start. Around 7. All right. Here it is. This people, talking about the Israelites. Now, this is an Ammonite, Achior, all right, what you would currently call that nation today, Japan. All right. And he's talking, he says, they sojourn therefore to, he said, this people are descendant of the Chaldeans, you know, where did Abraham come out of? What? Of the Chaldeans. And they sojourned heretofore in Mesopotamia because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea. For they left the way of their ancestors and worshipped the God of heaven, the power whom they knew, so they cast them out from the face of their powers, and they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Then their power commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt and were increased with gold and silver and with very much cattle. All right. Now I'm going to skip down to the point. It says, therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them and brought them low with laboring in brick and made them slaves. Then they cried unto their power, and he smote all the land of Egypt with incurable plagues, so the Egyptians cast them out of their sight, and the Most High dried the Red Sea before them. Now let me go on down there. Says in 17, and whilst they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the Most High that hateth iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs, and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. All right. So again, we're not right with our power, so these things are happening to us. Now, what's happening currently is Esau Edom is being forced, his hand is being forced, he's being forced to speed things up because what? He realizes that our people are waking up, all right, to who they really are. And he knows he has a short time as a result, all right. Let's see. After the police spoke with the trespassers, McCrae said that they returned and told him they had to arrest him for brandishing a firearm, all right. The pastor said he asked the arresting officer, who he has known for almost 20 years, what would happen to the trespassing and assault charges against the trespassers. McCrae said he was handcuffed in front of his attackers and arrested. So he was humiliated, all right. He said when he was released from custody, later on the night of June 1st, he submitted a written statement. 2 days later, on June 3rd, McCrae sat down with Shenandoah County Sheriff Timothy Carter to discuss what happened. Carter said that if he were faced with similar circumstances, he would have probably done the same thing. Okay? But what does that mean in the meantime? It says Carter initiated an immediate review of McCrae's charge. On Wednesday, the sheriff's office dropped the charge. After talking with him about the incident, it was apparent to me that the charge of brandishing was certainly not appropriate. All right. He said he goes on to say he apologized. But again, this man had to go through all that simply for trying to defend himself. 5-on-1, truly, you know, without firing a shot, this man lucky to be alive. And these are I skipped past it, but these are the 5 pieces of crap, all right, that attacked him. Wow. Let's get some comments and I'm going to end it. Larula says, why are they arresting a so-called black man who calls the police for help? What the blank is up with these cops? Do they have some sort of combined effort to take down so-called black people? Why didn't they arrest those guys that were trespassing on the reverend's property and dumping? It seems like the cops are just refusing to help. And it doesn't just seem like it is. Trump would say they are good people. Eloise says this is stand your ground. They were on his property. He had a license. 5 people against 1. Stand your ground. Isn't this how white people get away with murder? Let's see the replies there. This is exactly how they get away with murder. Stand your ground only works for white people. Stand your ground is code for white man license to kill black people. Okay. If the police saw a black man with a gun and 5 dead white guys, is there any doubt how they would react? That's exactly, says it's me, that's exactly what happens with white people, but he wasn't white. So they will come up with another excuse to arrest him. No one's white, no one's black. They're Edomites, all right? Nation of Edom. User 9188, 9186. Wow, unbelievable. And he was arrested? That's a whole bunch of shit. Unbelievable. As usual, black man goes to jail. So you see, what is all this? Wow. And still you got Jake that want to defend this. All right, so I'm going to end it there. I've gone way over. I apologize. Wow. Once again, you see the true face of your oppressor. All right. Can't even defend yourself. But then when you go back into history, what were the gun laws for and against anyway? All the legislation. All right. Another reason why we need to get the hell up out of this place. And we should hasten the day that this place goes down. All right, so with that, I hope whoever views this is edified. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh, Bahashim Rakokwadash. Double honors, of course, to the apostles of Great Millstone, once again, for teaching me this truth. All right, salutations to Akim out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, all honesty and sincerity, while trying to wake up the remaining hopeful elect. So with that, Shalom, Akim.